There we are. Hello.
Cool. You didn't do an intro. Hey, was it just you pushing buttons and
Here
pretend?
we are. All this new technology. I didn't even know where my camera is here. So, welcome to Sunday Conversations.
Yeah, big
Chit
day.
chat.
Big day on your new MacBook.
Yeah. And on a new program, we're trying out StreamYard today.
I love how old school you are. Like everybody uses technology to put a backdrop down, and you actually have a piece of fabric behind your head.
Yeah. And, and the thing is I didn't iron mine. I didn't iron my back.
No, that's how you know it's real. Keeping it real. Keeping it wrinkled.
I hate ironing.
It's really distracting because my camera is opposite. So when I'm turning opposite on the screen, it looks really weird to me.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to know how to expand my screen so it's the full screen. But I don't want to actually lose what we're doing right now. So
it's right down in the right corner, Mom. Look at my picture or your picture. Down the right corner, there's a square. Well, this is gonna be real hard for you to figure out. Hey, I'm gonna have to take a separate call to show you.
I can see that, but I don't see us in it. That means screen share, I think, dear.
No, I don't.
Okay.
Hey, look at your picture, and at the bottom of the full, it's okay, Grace.
Never mind. This is what John has been going through since I got this little toy.
I'm gonna FaceTime you, so pick up your phone, okay? We're gonna work out the bugs again. It's like day one again. What happened when you don't do things for a while? Though?
Okay. Okay, here we go. Okay.
This is a call within the call within the call.
Okay.
It's the echo.
Okay. All right. So, where do you see? Are you talking about this button?
Change the screen around. How do you do this? Okay.
Wait. I'm muting. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh. Okay. Okay. Oh, I see. There.
My Lanta, did you turn the call off?
Yes, I did. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Well, that's gonna be fun, hey, to watch.
Oh my God, silliness.
I didn't bring a beverage. Oh, I'm not prepared.
And you didn't do your background.
I can't. I don't know. I couldn't.
We're not doing Zoom. Oh, I think you have to pay for the professional program for StreamYard. But anyway.
My face isn't mirrored because I feel like it's weirding me out, actually really weirding me out, because I go to scratch my beard and it shows on the opposite side on here, and I'm like, I feel like I can't touch my face. I can't feel it because it's opposite. It's so do that in the screen. Tell me it's not weird.
Yeah.
Is that weird?
Yeah, it is actually.
Wrong side.
Yeah.
With my brain.
Oh my God. Yeah. Oh.
Anyways. So I did some math when I was in the tanning bed today, and it was pretty basic. It's pretty basic math. Because I tan for. I said went in for 10 minutes, but I only tanned for 7 minutes last time I was there, and I was like, and then I asked for 10 minutes again. I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna do the whole 10 because it's only 30% more. Because I figured, 3 of 10 is 30%. But then I was in there and I was like, well, actually, that's not entirely true because it would be more like 3 of 7 because I only did 7 minutes last time.
Yeah.
3 minutes of 7 is almost 50% longer. I'm like, yeah, maybe that is quite a bit longer, actually. But I still stayed, and the math was right because I am burnt.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the power just proved it. So math works.
Oh, my God. It was a tanning bed?
No, they're the stand-up ones.
Oh, wow.
Well, it's only all the most sensitive parts of my body that are burnt because that's what you do in the tanning beds. You get the spots you don't normally get. So arms are up. So we got hip burns, thigh burns.
Oh, my God. I haven't been in one of those for a long time. I think since Fort St. John, actually.
It's nice to have as part of my gym thing.
Some people say, yeah, that's great to have it part of your gym membership.
Yeah.
See, some people say it's really good to use them in the winter when we don't get enough direct sunlight anymore.
Are you actually getting vitamin D from those things, though? Is that a real thing? Is there science?
I don't. That's a good question. I don't know if it's just because you have bright light that makes you feel more energized. I can't imagine that it's vitamin D in an artificial light. I don't know.
Oh, it depends. It's still ultraviolet light is ultraviolet light, whether it's artificial or not. This could bring us into a deeper tangent if you want right now, talking about medicines and stuff like that. And I know how so essentially, and pharmaceuticals. So I'm going to play the devil's advocate on pharmaceuticals for a second. And almost everything that's pharmaceutical comes from something natural originally, then it becomes synthesized. But does that mean it's any less of a real product because it's synthesized in a lab? You know what I mean? That's
right.
Because we synthesize just means we've found a way to recreate it. Chemistry is chemistry. It's this molecule connected to this molecule, connected to this molecule, which makes that thing. So if that's what we're doing in a lab, and so what's the difference? You know what I mean?
Well, I think because there's other components to it. It's not like pure. Like when it's natural, it's pure. When it's synthetic, they add stuff to it.
Or the other way around. Because there isn't all the mutations that could happen in the nature. So maybe it's actually more pure when it's synthesized because there's no other things, no filler at all, no nature filler, unless they intentionally put something in it, right? So I think, and they do. So for example, if you get a pill with something in it, it's not going to be probably purely the medicine that you want. They're going to have other things to help deliver it. There's going to be filler in that. But the medicine part itself, which is the part that synthesizes something from nature, is probably maybe even more. And again, maybe I'm completely wrong because chemistry is chemistry.
Right.
So it's that component is that component. It's putting those molecules together. I don't know. And that's a good question, isn't it?
Well, I think, yeah, because from my point of view, I think when it's synthetic, they have to have something else. They're putting compounds together to make it. So it's not pure. You can't get just pure sunlight and make it synthetic.
Well, I don't know if you can.
Without, you know what I mean? Another component to it.
Well, only because we're not talking about just chemistry when we're talking about sunlight here. I'm taking this in the pharmaceutical thing. So
right.
example,
yeah. Okay. I see what you're saying. In a chemistry lab.
Ascorbic acid or whatever, essentially, right? Now that can be found in many things in nature, or we can make it. Yeah. But vitamin C, ascorbic acid, has a certain chemical compound makeup, which is this molecule attached to this electrons. Although we're, I don't remember all that stuff. Mm-hmm. But so that's what it is. That's what ascorbic acid is. So whether it comes from nature or not, maybe when you take it in a natural way, because there's all those other things that, like, for example, when I eat an orange and I get vitamin C that way, there's all the other health benefits of an orange that come along with it, which is probably good for you. But
which is fiber.
I don't know that the ascorbic acid in an orange itself, that piece of the orange, is more pure than the stuff that you have in a pill form that's surrounded by a bunch of other stuff too. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
That makes me
Yeah.
wonder again about meat too. Actually, finish what you're going to say. I'll go on a segue on that one.
I was just going to say that when I look at a bottle of vitamin C, for instance, or any supplement that I buy that says like it's vitamin E, it's never just pure vitamin E.
Yeah.
There's non-medicinal ingredients, and some things have a medicinal component as well.
Yeah.
In the formulation in order to make it that way, right? But I can understand what you're saying about the purity or the amount of that component is not the amount that you would generally get if you sat in the sun to get your vitamin C. You may get more of a dose if it's an internal source, right? Is what you're kind of saying?
No,
too?
what I'm saying is essentially, I'm just saying that pharmaceuticals aren't the problem. Pharmaceutical companies are.
Right.
Pharmaceuticals are good and beneficial and helpful.
Right.
All they're
Yeah.
doing is recreating natural life.
Mm-hmm.
Or things found in nature. And I'm saying that I don't think that substitute is any worse for you than the natural form. It's just great to say that you got something in nature. Because again, if I eat an orange to get vitamin C, there's all the other properties of the orange that I'm getting, which is adding to my health and wellness.
Right.
As when I just take a vitamin C pill that's made from a pharmaceutical company.
Right. Okay.
I'm just getting that. But
right.
in its essence, it's not any worse. It's the same. It should essentially be the same. And yeah. Anyways, yeah. So that's the thing. So really, it's not, again, because I think we get caught up on that a little bit too much and hung up on it and what's natural and what's not. And again, like I said, it's not the pharmaceuticals that are the problem. It's the pharmaceutical companies.
Yeah.
And then they're just really about making $1 at the end of the day. So I don't know if they're trying to hurt us. Well, that's not true. If hurting us makes them $1, that's been proven that they don't care. But again, that's not the drugs problem. That's the people that run the drug companies doing that.
Yeah.
But that makes me wonder about, so I've thought about this about fake meat too, like the stuff that they're starting to figure out how to engineer in a lab, which I'm kind of excited about, because if we can eat meat and not have to kill an animal, that sounds like a win-win. Mm-hmm. But again, so is meat made in a lab, because it's not natural, going to be any better or worse for you is the question. And I think when it comes to meat, there might be a difference than what I was just talking about, because, for example, if you talk to a hunter or even just whatever, anybody who eats meat, apparently if you eat like grain-fed beef, like something that's been, or just why like Wagyu beef or any of that stuff, raised a certain way, fed a certain type of food, it tastes differently. And I've heard like listen to people that were hunters and stuff like that, if they eat bear, for example, that eats a lot of blueberries and it lives in the blueberry strong zone, it'll taste different than other stuff. It's what in your body goes into your body. And then so I wonder, that being said, if there's going to be a lot of nutritional differences from eating meat that's not real, because maybe a lot of what the animal ingests is adding to our nutrition, and maybe add it, I guess. And
they'll probably just add it. But I think the thing is our bodies are used to, it can break down something natural easier than it can synthetic. But I think that our bodies can acquire, or not even acquire, it can eventually adapt to eating a certain type of food, right?
Now listen. I think we need to dive into that a little more. I don't know if that's completely accurate what you just said. Again, so if what you're saying, like, eating, if I made macaroni and cheese with organic wheat noodles and real cheese, that's going to be better for me than Kraft Dinner. But that the synthetic that's in Kraft Dinner is literally chemicals. It's just chemicals that they put in there to add to make the color,
preservatives,
preservatives, all that stuff. So that's a totally different thing. But so again, synthetic, I don't think your body knows the difference chemically between a synthetic chemical and you know, that's something that occurs in nature. If it's something that doesn't occur in nature, then obviously your body's going to go like, what the fuck was that? That's weird. I have to figure this thing out and do something with it. But if you're recreating natural chemicals, you know what I mean? Which, so I just wanted, does that make sense what I'm saying? Why I'm
Yeah. I'm kind of trying to digest that.
Oh, hey, digest, good one.
But I don't know, like I think of it in terms of, say you took some person that lives like in the jungle or something, and they came and ate our diet filled with all kinds of things that their bodies aren't used to processing. Even if you're calling it natural and in a certain form, too much vitamin C, that they're like, I think it would have an effect on them. And I think that we adapt to the foods that we eat.
Of course.
Our body gets used to it, but our bodies do store toxic crap in the form of fat tissue and stuff like that it doesn't know what to do with it, right? So when we say we think we're digesting everything we're eating, maybe we're not. We're just storing some crap.
Sure. But again, toxins, synthetic chemicals aren't necessarily toxins or toxic for you. And what you just said can work both ways. You could come from, and this happens, this is why when you go to Mexico, you don't drink the water in Mexico. The locals can drink the water just fine because their digestive systems are used to it, right? And that is the exact opposite of what you're saying. That's coming from maybe me eating a synthetic diet, eating something completely pure. And the things that are hurting me are the pure nature things in that water that's going to make me sit on the toilet for a day and a half of my vacation, right? So, again, it's not necessarily synthetic or natural. And I think there needs to be a distinction between that. Like, don't eat toxic food. That's the thing. And there's toxic food and packaged foods. And those chemicals that aren't something that occur naturally in natural foods are going to be bad for you. But if you were to recreate something in a lab that is chemically the same makeup as something that you eat naturally, even organically, and it should theoretically, and I'm no scientist, I'm just talking shit right now, but I'm pretty sure
well, both are kind of,
I think
I think that's a good point though, John, and that's why so many people are so confused about which things are good for you, what things are bad for you, and what you should eat and what you shouldn't eat, because it always changes. They're always changing directions. So people are so confused as to, well, you know, I'm craving this. That means my body knows what it wants, so I should be eating what I crave. You know, it's so confusing for people that I think a lot of people just give up and they just eat the way they normally eat. And then if they live longer, they live longer. But it is very confusing, even for supplements. Like they say, okay, all supplements aren't made equally. You can be taking, or even just olive oil, for instance. I mean, you can delve into this in so many different levels, but things aren't all made the same. And the way your body digests things, the purer, the better, is kind of what I've been reading, right? So, and then there comes into that whole perspective of supplements with this new thing that's been going on for probably 10 or more years, is the idea of biohacking, by taking, you know, supplements or doing certain things to make your body, optimizes your body's performance or helps with aging so that you don't age like you used to, right? So it's interesting but confusing at the same time.
It is, and the problem is too, is like everybody's body is different. Like there's no one formula that works for everybody. We're all very unique in different ways. We have different blood types, different everything. Like, you know what I mean? That's why, like, you just gotta, like you said before, trust your intuition if you're so inclined, and have a good one, and feel what your body's telling you. But notice when it's tricking you too. Like, because I also crave chips, and that doesn't mean that I should be eating them.
Yeah.
But it is confusing and it's hard, and that's why it's sort of like a trial and error thing, and that's why medicine isn't an exact science either. You know what I mean? Especially Western medicine. It's like it's constantly it's a trial and error thing. Well, that worked today. Well, let's see if it works on the next person. And 9 out of 10 people it'll work on. It's the same as this vaccine. Sure, maybe this amount of people it's good for, and this amount of people have allergic reactions or it hurts, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
yeah. I think it partly comes down to, as far as the diet goes, is not overdoing anything.
That's right.
Too much, and then you don't get that, what they call the insulin resistance, and your body's it's just so confusing. Like, and because I delve into so many different areas with it to try and understand what's good for the body, how to feed it well, and how things are changing, because the science of it is changing all the time, right? They're learning more and more, and then the old stuff doesn't make sense anymore, and then you're trying to make sense of everything. But it's just, don't overdo anything. Don't eat a pound of grapes every day, or
that's just it. And like, so if I'm going to go there, I'm going to go here for a second. Let's talk about mRNA vaccines. Science changes. Like, if you look at what they say now, for example, food and nutrition, they say the best eating standard is actually flip that entire pyramid completely upside down. What used to be the staples, the food, the pyramid, what to eat, it's actually the exact opposite now. So again, it seems like we're putting vaccines into people's bodies that is still experimental, and that's proven. It's a real thing. They've done experiments on them. They're not completely going in blind. They've messed with this technology before. But the question is like, science seems to make sense right now ish, and it's not even trials. But we're just still, it's a bit of a risk. A lot of the people taking all that, and people should be. I just wish that people were properly educated so they can make their own educated decisions.
Yeah,
that's the important thing, right?
Yeah, and I think the information, should be readily available for everybody. And I think we've talked about this before about if you have polar opposite sides, you should have the opportunity to have even just the idea of a debate on it, where people can hear both sides of the story.
That blows my mind.
Yeah, on mainstream, media, so that it helps to people. Uninformed people, don't make any decision that's right. They just get pushed into it. They feel like they're being pushed into it, I guess, and then they don't question, right? And you're right, experimental. But also, I believe the flu shots were also experimental, because they were just using, viruses from the year before to see if that was going to work for this coming year's strain. It was always a guess, a crapshoot as to whether it was going to really work the next year, right? And
yes, you're right, but an educated one at that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's and I was listening to a thing talking about coronavirus and how there was one gentleman had many different strands in his own body, and there was just this. It was very educational, because, anyways, you figure out which ones, because they're competing with each other. As the viruses mutate, it competes with the other viruses of the same thing. And so by doing these experiments and stuff like that, what they do with these things is they can see which one seems to be the dominant one. So it's like, of all these variants that are here, when we put them all together, the one that seems to come out on top is this one 8 out of 10 times or something like that. So then they're like, okay, well, that's our best guess. Let's use that one.
Right.
We'll do that flu shot. So it is experimental, but also, like, I mean, again, I don't think that the whole idea of the vaccine isn't experimental. We're not sure if this one's going to be the one that's going to work for sure for everybody, or what, or not, right? So so it's not really the same. I don't know. I think there's the potential for danger isn't the same, I don't think, as what we're talking about with this. And I'm not even saying that I think that this is dangerous, this flu shot or this vaccine. I don't know, but I don't know. That's just it. And I think it's remiss to say that we do. And that's the thing that bothers me in the media, is everybody's just like, oh, it works so good. It's like, does it? Like, why? Where's what are you saying by that? How do you know that? Because cases are going down right now, like just like they did last time last year.
Yeah, there's no
time again, or because the vaccine is actually working good. You know what I mean? Like,
well, and there was that whole idea of the herd immunity. Where did that go after all of this?
that's what I don't get. Also, is because they're saying on CBC radio the other day that 70% of adults have had their first round of vaccines in British Columbia. 70% I thought was the herd immunity number.
Yeah.
Like, I know that they still need a second one, but aren't you already halfway pretty much protected in the first one? And the second one just sort of seals the deal as far as I understand. So why are we still waiting for another month to even review whether or not?
I know.
You know what I mean? Cases, I don't know. I just don't, whatever. I
Yeah.
don't want to beat the coronavirus horse to
Yeah.
death, to be honest with you, but
Yeah, I know, but it does come into, you know, our conversation because, I mean, it's experimental. And I wish that was more of the term they're using, because it actually is. Because if you have a disease that they're trying to find a cure for, you can get on a list for experimental use of a new drug, right?
Yeah.
So there is that, but there also is the caveat in there, is if something happens while you're trying this, that, you know, they're kind of protecting themselves from that. I don't know that anybody is signing any forms because there is no recourse if something goes wrong with this being an experimental drug. And maybe that's why they don't, you know, publicly come out and say that this is what they're doing. I don't know.
I get why they're not, because people would be freaked out. But that's our right to be.
Yeah. It's the
Our
truth.
right to be that. You know what I mean? I get it. Like, I understand that everybody wants us to follow this social contract. And maybe I'm wrong for thinking that shouldn't take precedence. But, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
We're talking about a 0.0% death, 0.02 or something percent mortality rate. And I'm not even sure how accurate that number is, but that's the one that I think that they're going with.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. I just don't. I like.
And the other part is
the altruism of it all. Sorry, if I can just.
Yeah.
I love the altruism of it. I think it's beautiful that people want everybody
to be
okay and to live, but at what cost?
Well,
and that line get drawn in the sand where we're like, okay, you know what I mean? If you know, it's just like, for example, it's like, if you go to save somebody who's drowning and they won't stop panicking, they're going to make you drown too. So do you continue to hold on and try to save that person's life?
Mm-hmm.
Or do you have to let go at some point, because otherwise now you're both dead?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying, I don't know, maybe that's a little bit of a harsh analogy for this. This isn't maybe the same thing, but it kind of feels like it in some ways. You know, there's a lot of people. There's a lot of really adverse, negative things that have come out of this whole lockdown. A lot of it. Like, you can't get a counselor appointment nowadays. You know, it's almost impossible to talk to a counselor. Alcohol sales are through the roof, but you can't go to an AA meeting anywhere because of social distancing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, who's measuring these numbers?
Yeah.
You know, and even like the healthcare, like the WHO, I think even like our provincial somebody, or maybe I can't remember, but I heard something where like even like some of the big like health organizations are saying, listen, the risk to reward, like the lockdown is a bad idea. Like, it's not working. Like, for how dangerous this virus is, this is worse for you to do this. And yet our governments have decided to just take the information that works best for them and facilitate that agenda. Which I guess.
But, well, and for me, because it is experimental, the whole idea of experimenting on children and pregnant women is ludicrous to me. Like, that should not even be in the program at all until they know what this does.
Yeah.
They don't anyway. That part breaks my heart. But anyway, it is what it is, and that's the world we're living in right now. And there's no sides. There's just, everybody wants to be better.
Yeah.
And living in fear, like I said to my sister, is if you're fearful, you should get the vaccine, because you're going to feel better because you have it.
Yep.
If you're not fearful, and if you're healthy and you're not worried about it, why would you?
Yeah.
You know, and don't. It's worse to live in fear.
Well, what I don't get too is, aren't they actually telling people who have actually had coronavirus that they are supposed to get the vaccines too?
Yeah, but I've been hearing stories that actually is the worst thing you can do because of what's
Well,
the reactions they're getting from.
well, I don't know why you would. That makes
Yeah,
no.
I know.
There's two ways of achieving herd immunity. One,
Yes,
you get a vaccine, so you've been exposed. Your body knows what to do now. Two, you get the actual disease. Your body's exposed. It knows what to do now. So why would
exactly.
you go get a vaccine?
Well,
For
that's
the
what the
variants? What's the difference? Because that is it's.
That's
Oh,
what
here we go.
that's what the flu shots were about, right? Is you're getting immune to the bug that is going to be perhaps coming that year. So you know what I mean? Like, yeah, it doesn't make sense to me at all. But this whole year and a half hasn't. But
I know.
I know you were talking about how you work from home, but you also work from people that live down east, and how they have been locked down for over a year, or
Well,
is it?
this year they've been locked
This
down since
year.
January
Yeah.
for Easter weekend in Ontario. Yeah, and it's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, exactly. I'm going stir crazy, and my life has been not really that. I mean, everybody's life has been negatively affected, and I don't think that we're going to really realize until things are actually fully opened up again. It's like one of those things, it's been so long now, you forget what you're missing until you've got it again.
Hmm.
And I feel like just even energetically, like what's going on and like the buzz of life, you know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
because I'm just a homebody now. That's what I do. Even when I have options, my friends are like, hey, you want to, go have a beer or send a patty? For most part, I don't. I'm not participating. And,
Hmm.
and, and I don't know. It's going to be weird. I think when things do open up, I'm going to be like, holy crap. Like, oh man, like I really, even if I'm not doing the things, the fact that the things are happening feels like flow or something. You know what I mean? It feels
Yeah.
you're tapped into that consciousness or something in some way. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
feel alive again. And I think that because things aren't happening, it's also making me just kind of like, meh, you know.
Well, I
I
think,
don't necessarily go to that event, but like I don't want to do anything really.
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I know for me, part of it is when you're out there, you kind of feel into the energy of the fear that's around you, because even going into a store with a mask, that there are some people that really are very consciously wanting to be far away from you, even with a mask. So you're feeling this energy of fear, of this, not this welcoming, oh, great to see people. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
there's a fear there that you kind of want to be at home. You go out, do your stuff, and then you come home and it feels okay. Okay, I can take a breath. It feels calm here. There's no fear in my house. you know?
Yeah, it's a sanctuary, right? That's it.
Yeah, yeah. So
Anyway,
yeah, so I know for me it's been like I'm so grateful that it's summertime. Like summertime always boosts my mood anyway, and I don't know whether it's because I am out seeing the sun more, that getting more vitamin D, but I've been like grounding myself a lot by working in the yard and that kind of stuff.
yeah.
So I'm very grateful, and hopefully people are able to do some things that whatever makes them feel alive and thriving, even if they're just in their homes, right?
For sure. And I think that the sad thing is, and I know I haven't enough myself, but I think we need to look at the positives of this too, and like really take advantage of it while we still can, while there is still not much going on. Really do whatever work we need to do at home, either literally or figuratively. You know what I mean? Either literally do the work you got to do at your house or the work inside your
Yeah.
home. Like figure out, okay, well, this is introspection time. This that, you know what I mean? And how much have I or anybody been distracting themselves from the introspection that we have been forced to have to take
Yeah.
and how many people have been embracing that? And I know I've been distracting a lot. And so I'm going to try and make a real solid effort here in the last little bit of this crazy world we live in until we get to the post pandemic era. I'm
Yeah.
really like digging deep and going inside and making sure that I've taken advantage of this and turn it into a positive in some way, right?
Yeah, I agree. I think that maybe a lot of us have actually lost what we could have gained from this time.
Yeah.
Like I know for me, I've been slowly going at it, but I really did want to get rid of some more clutter, get clean out some stuff, like just, as you move, we've moved a few times, and there's sometimes we have boxes that we haven't even opened.
Yeah.
And there's things in closets. Closets are like, they're awful because they collect stuff somehow.
Yeah, it's a fine line. I was having this conversation with Tony the other day, and I'm a digital hoarder, and I've realized that as I've been very slowly transitioning my old MacBook to my new one, and going through my old music and my old projects and stuff like that, so I was ready to. I think I told you this. I was ready to. I almost had a very Zen moment because my computer wasn't responding very well, and I was like, okay, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just wiping it clean. We're just like, it's like one of those Buddhist sand drawings. Like, okay, draw it. That's so beautiful. And there it's gone. And I was going to be like, okay, I'm just going to do that with all of this. I don't care. Whatever, just move on. Just let it go.
Mm-hmm.
And then I sort of stepped away from my computer for a bit to do something else. And I came back, and then all of a sudden my computer was working. And then since it's been working again, I've discovered a lot of little gems. And that's the thing about the stuff you keep. I mean, some people are a little crazy about it, let's be honest. But sometimes you open that box, you're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow, I forgot all about this. And that's the beautiful thing about memories and nostalgia is that very thing. And it's scary to think about. It's you won't know it until you find it, though. That's the weird thing. You know what I mean? It's not like you're like all of a sudden you're just gonna wake up in bed one day and be like, where the hell was that poem I wrote in grade 4? I totally forgot about that. You're never gonna think about it until you open up that box one day. You're like, oh my God, there's that poem I wrote when I was in grade 4. Like, it's so awesome. And
I know.
It takes you to a different time and place, and it's beautiful and it's nice. So there's a lot of importance in that, but not, like
I know.
Well, just fine without it. But it sure is nice and special to find those things. And I've always beaten myself up because I'm not a good parent like you and Dad were. Like, you have my baby teeth in some fucking envelope somewhere, which is kind of weird, creepy. But like baby,
a lock of your hair,
or a fucking there's DNA. So there's little clones of me somewhere. I see what's going on. But anyways, like and you have all these like memories. The baby album, I've never had any of that for Jasmine. So for me, digitally is the best place to have that, and that's why it's going to be very hard for me to ever close like my Facebook account or something like that, because of just that reason alone. There's a lot of shit that's on there that I don't have anywhere else. Yeah,
but you can move it to your computer.
I'm sure you can.
Yeah, you can.
But
yeah, you're right. And that's the reason why you shouldn't just do things dramatically like that. And that's why I think it's hard for me to get to certain decluttering that closet, is because I know it's going to take some time to go through things, and you have to be in the mood to chuck. Yeah. If you're not in the mood to chuck, you're going to just keep that closet. You're just going to organize it a little differently. It look like you got a little bit more room, but you're not going to get rid of anything. But it's funny. It's funny you said the digital, because I know I have a Shaw account, and I got an email from, I had to call them because I said, my email's not working. Oh, well, because you have to get rid of some emails. I had 7,200 emails.
7,200.
And that's too many.
Apparently. Those are all red?
Well, they're there. I don't know. And trying to scroll to the very beginning to start deleting. It's a thing. So I've got to do that too.
Where you can sort them from oldest to newest instead of newest to oldest.
Oh yeah, right. Turn it around. Yeah, that's smart. Okay, that's easy. Yeah. But anyway, it's probably going to be things like going through that too, right? Like maybe there's a document that was attached that I maybe should have on my computer because it got lost in something else.
But you shouldn't. That's just it. The reality is it's nice. It's a warm, fuzzy feeling to discover, but your life is going on just fine without it.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know where I stand on that then. I don't want to lose those things. I want to still be able to trip up on those things from time to time, but also I don't want to just keep a bunch of baggage that isn't really facilitating my life, So.
Yeah, I know, but you can put them on sticks, but still they're just on a stick, right?
It's easier. It's so much easier than the boxes that you have of our kid stuff. I just take pictures
Yeah.
of his teeth. Now that's what I
Yeah.
do. Picture of teeth.
Yeah, I know. I've got photos I've got to sort through. Like, I just think I'm glad I'm going to live to 120 because I got a little bit of time
No,
to sort through stuff. So
yeah.
you guys aren't stuck with it.
You're gonna
Mind
spend
you.
the last 20 years of your life just sorting through all the shit that you've accumulated. Well, that's a waste of time.
Yeah, I know, right? But you know, part of it is when I'm going through things, I'm thinking, well, I wonder if John would want this or Kristen. I hate just to get rid of it just in case.
Mhm.
You know, there's that too, right? But
You're
I guess
pretty good though, Mom. You're pretty good, honestly. Like I think the things you keep are good. And I don't know what closet it is that you have. Like you have lots of clothes in your closet.
yeah, I've got clothes, but it's the spare room that Jasmine usually sleeps in, and I've got Reiki books and other things in there that I need to just go through, right, and let
Well, you
go.
do. You have, like you said, drink some wine, put on some music, make yes, no, maybe piles.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's true.
or no pile. We'll think
Oh,
about it.
that's a good idea.
And
Yeah.
then you come back the next day. Like it doesn't have to, just let it be take some time. Let it breathe a little. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, it is Merlin's room, so
Oh yeah.
I can't just leave it a day.
Well, you have to move it out of the room into another space. Let's be honest. You're gonna need to clear out the basement.
Yeah.
That room.
Anyway, it'll be an enjoyable thing though.
That's right. It will be. Yeah.
So I guess that's the thing, right? We're lucky to have the choice. Some people have fires and they lose everything and
Yeah.
they have to move on, right? We can't be so attached to things because things aren't important. It's people. So
Yeah, that's true.
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you guys had a good day today?
Yeah, it's been kind of a gloomy gray day. But got some work done in the morning, so it was great. Yeah.
Hey, what's your resolution set? Yours seems grainier than mine. Maybe it's just because mine's live to me. Does mine seem grainier to you than your
No,
face?
yours actually looks good. Mine looks really grainy. So
Yeah,
I don't.
well, there's an option. Go to your cam mic option there,
Yeah.
and built-in camera. Yeah.
Oh,
sorry, not
okay.
that. Show advanced options. High
It
definition.
says FaceTime HD camera.
No, that's
built.
fine. Yeah, but hit the below there. There's advanced options, and you
Oh
can
yeah,
see
yeah.
the resolution there. So I went to 720.
Oh, I see.
Try that and see if it looks different.
Okay.
You know how to click it, eh? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's worse now. So that's great. What did you?
I I hit 720, but I think it might be the. I don't know.
It looks worse.
It's 720.
Okay,
Camera resolution.
Maybe look at it. Maybe when we look back at it. Savvy.
Maybe that's the thing, so you don't see the lines on my face. It was a thing that I did on purpose. Anyways,
it'll be neat to. I'm excited to actually see this one back, really, because now that we're using the new what?
A new format.
Yeah, which you can see is powered by StreamYard. It says in the top corner there.
Yeah,
but it's great. It seems to be great. I'll be interested to see because there's some things I didn't like about the last one where it was like we couldn't talk at the same time.
Yes.
You know, and so it was muffling stuff. I'm hoping this will look better or sound better too.
Yeah, and actually
your voice sounds clear to me, and you're not using a mic at all, are you? You're just
well, I've got my headset in.
Yeah, well, I can see that. That's the wire connected to your ears, right? Well, you forgot we're in earlier.
Yeah.
You figure out why you couldn't hear me?
I don't know how to adjust this. It's like one's longer than the other. Anyway, you're not using headsets, so yeah, it'll be interesting to listen back.
Does it sound crisp to you when it's coming out, though? Like,
it does. Yeah, yeah. Well, it's good to know that I look grainy to you too, because I was really excited about my new Mac and having this new camera. And no.
Well, we have the same camera and essentially the same computer, I think. So
yeah. Yeah. Anyways.
Maybe it could be your connection too. Maybe, who knows?
Oh, I know what it is. Dad's downstairs playing a game, so he's probably burning all the Wi-Fi up.
Game, Dad. I don't think that game is online, Mom. So I don't think
Maybe he's gone online now.
Yeah, he's in the deep web finding all the conspiracies. So
yeah, for sure.
That's funny.
Awesome.
Yeah, I was listening to you know what? Maybe we're doing pretty good actually. We can save some topics actually, I guess, if we want. Seems how we need to continue to do this again. It's been a really long time since our last one, but I know stuff I want to talk about eventually, like is like economy and stuff like that that's been coming up lately, and like economics in general and
sure
stuff. But yeah, I don't know. We don't need to start open up a worm now if you want. What do you think? What do you think, Mom? You got something? I know it's really annoying me right now, and I want to wipe it.
No, well, if you want to go into that, we can go into that. We always end up, I don't think we're at a loss for things to talk about when we get talking. So,
tell you what, why don't you talk to yourself for half of a second while I go blow my nose, and you can pretend to entertain the people.
Oh, okay.
Definitely not watching right now. Is there a way of knowing if anybody's watching? Do you have a thing that says like some idiot actually accidentally clicked this?
No, I don't know because I'm not on YouTube, but I know it is being broadcast to YouTube. So there could be somebody there watching. I don't know. Yeah. But
they have nothing better to do on a Sunday.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. One of those things.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I guess banks. Hey. Oh, banks.
Oh, fun banks. Yeah. It's funny you said that because I was thinking about when I win the big lottery, how I'll be putting my money into a credit union instead of a big bank.
You remind me what day that is so I can put it in my calendar. Mom's big lottery win. What day was that? I just want to make sure I'm available.
I don't know. I'll let you know. I'll call you from some location.
Oh. It's silly though. I just like, okay, so I guess here's a way to start cracking this egg and this is going to go a little COVID-y again for a second, but for example, there's a lot of people that are going to get the vaccine just because they're like, I don't care. I don't think I need the vaccine. I'm not that scared of getting the virus, but I just want to, I want to travel. I want to do this thing. I want my creature comforts of life. I just want things to get back to normal. People are just worn out and they're just making concessions to what they maybe feel like they need. Is there jingle bells going on in the background? You got jingle bells?
Me?
Yeah. I heard something. Or is your mic your mic's probably dragging on your
my
shirt
clothing?
I
don't even have anything on that would jingle.
Well, sounds like it jingles to me for a second. Anyways, moral of the story is we just like I don't even know if that made a good point at all, but the point is I think it's ridiculous what we do, how we just like buy into the banking system and just agree with what happens. Like it's insane. Like if you just stop to think about what we pay for these large institutions for our own money, you know what I mean? Like we give them our money, they make billions of dollars off of our money, and then they charge us money to keep that money. And they don't, I don't know. It's just, and then how interest works, like everything. It's just crazy. Like, why do we agree to this? Why do we agree to do this? Why do we agree to a system that says, hey, you didn't have enough money in your account, so the solution is to charge you some more money than what you had in your account. So we're going to make negative $50 because you didn't have $8 to cover that bill that just came out. So now you owe more than the $8. Like how do we, like, okay, that's okay. Hey, thanks for keeping my money safe though, eh?
Yeah.
Like why do we agree to this? Why isn't there a better option? Why have we not thought of this? And again, it's because we're just so distracted. We don't care. I don't care. Whatever. Yeah, it's stupid. But hey, I gotta buy a new big screen TV, and hey, I can tap my watch on something and buy it. That's neat.
Yeah. Well, I think it's because people want. Yeah, you're right. People want to have credit, so that they can, and you have to go through a bank to gain credit.
That too. Well, you don't
You
need
know
a
what I mean?
bank account. Yeah, I guess you do. No,
Yeah.
you have a bank account to get a credit card.
Yeah, but you have to have a credit score. So how do you get a credit score? You have to pay something.
Financing through the bank. Through bank. Yeah, it's another version of bank. I'm just talking about even everyday banking.
Oh yeah.
You know
Okay.
what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like
Yeah. I know, it doesn't make
the
sense.
banks that won't, maybe, you know, if you don't have great credit, they won't give you an overdraft to like save you from the occasional $50 NSF charge. But if you owe them money, your bank account can go in the negative. That'll work.
It's so interesting how I can remember when NSF checks used to be $20. It would cost you $20 if you wrote an NSF check, right? Why did the rate go up to like 50? Like, why? Everything's digital now.
I had this argument with a bank manager. I was like, okay, listen, I get it. If you want to charge me $50 for an NSF charge, like, what the fuck did you do to earn that? Did Sally have to get her ass off her desk and like walk to the next town to like deliver the piece of paper that said he didn't have enough money in his account? Okay, sorry, man. Here's $125. That girl had to work hard to get that. Like, but it didn't. It's an automated system. They're just like, well, we kind of help it, and that's the thing I love the most when you're like, hey, is there a way of correct? Oh, sorry, the system's just gonna take it out automatically at midnight. We have no control. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? You don't have any control over the system? Like, that's it, hey? And then so if it's an automated system that you have no control over, then why am I paying $50 for an automated system to do what it does?
Yeah.
Automatically charge me.
Exactly.
Like, what are we talking about here? You didn't do anything to earn that money.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's crazy. Like that, and the fact that, like, yeah, it's pretty clear to me that and this isn't a conspiracy, it's there to help separate classes. Like, let's be honest. Mm-hmm. If you don't have good credit rating, if you don't have a lot of money, you're penalized for it.
Yeah.
People finding out, hey, it's like, hey, can I just find out what my credit rating's like? Let's just, I'm going to try and get that credit card. You think I might be able to get one? You're offering this deal to me? Okay, I'll fill out the paperwork. Oh, you don't have a good credit rating, and now it's worse because you wanted to find out if you had a good credit rating or not.
Yeah. You get hits against you. Yeah, it's just so silly.
Oh, you thought you might have got it wrong.
Yeah, it is. It's a ludicrous system.
It is. Why do we buy into it? You know, I'm really looking forward to reading that book I told you about that I heard about sacred geometry.
Yeah, that'll work, John.
I'm pretty interested in sacred geometry for sure.
Oh, you're going to be good at geometry finally.
Yeah, finally. Yeah. I'll know where Alberta is. That's geometry, right? But
what is it called? Sacred
economy. Or sacred economics, I think it is. But because I think that right now we live in a very bastardized version of what the capitalism is. I'm not a non-capitalist. I think what this talks about, and one of the small touch points that I heard about this book, and it's written by Charles Eisenstein, who's a philosopher, I believe. But anyways, I believe that I think that inherently the biggest problems with what's going on in the world is the lack of proper distribution of wealth. I don't believe that there should be massive corporations. I don't believe that there should be billionaires. It doesn't make any sense. Like, first of all, here's what I think. You know, if listen, some of these conspiracies are real. The Epstein, is it what the
Epstein?
Like that's real shit. Okay? That's been proven. I'm trying to make a point.
It's a good thing that we're accurate with our terminology.
We're fact checking. But Epstein, right? Yeah. It just doesn't seem right. But anyways, yeah, like that's a real thing. Like there's really there's some rich people doing some really fucking shady things in the world, right? I firmly believe that there are organizations getting together to figure out what's going to happen next. There are, and like, why not? Because here's what happens: if you're a billionaire, you have the personality type that is very driven. You don't achieve billions unless you're what's his name's wife, and gets a very good divorce settlement from because she's not like the richest woman in the world just from getting divorced from the guy that owns Amazon, Bezos.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I'm not discrediting her in any way.
No.
But he became a billionaire because of his drive to become a billionaire or successful, right?
No, there's usually a woman behind the successful story, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Why aren't they their own success stories, Bob?
Because they're helping, they're pushing along.
Yeah, keeping us from making terrible decisions with our life. But
that's right.
Anyways, point is you're a very, very driven person. And so this is the problem with being goal oriented too, is like you're not focusing on the path. And sometimes you take detours to get there. And maybe they're not good. Maybe when you're focusing so much on money and succeeding as a business person or your company to succeed, you're probably not spending as much time making sure that you are spiritually grounded and balanced as well. You know what I mean? Right. So you reach the top and you're like, bah, I'm a billionaire. I'm the top of my industry. Now what?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, well, the drive doesn't just go away. You're a driven human being. That's who you are. That's what you've conditioned yourself to be your entire life. And we're here on this planet to constantly evolve and grow. So when you have that kind of force behind your growth, now what? What do you do? What do you do? And also, who do you relate with now? Like,
I know.
Are you hanging out with people that are working, like making minimum wage? Right. I'm not saying she thinks she's better than that, but let's just be real. How do you relate?
Mm-hmm.
How do you relate? Because first of all, there's like in their defense, it's not going to be comfortable talking about all the amazing things that you get to do with your life with somebody that can barely fucking pay their bills.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's a conversation that you're not going to be able to have. So all of a sudden you become part of this different club. And now you're in a club with other people that are the same as you. Mm-hmm. And maybe don't know what to do with their lives anymore too, except for maybe find a way to make more money.
Right.
And there's this dissociation now because between the billionaires and the rest of the people, and you don't really associate with them. You don't relate with them. It becomes a little more cold and they're just people, like they're just fodder almost. And so then you go and you find a new goal to focus on. Like, well, let's just see if let's just try and take this over or something. You know what I mean? Let's see if we can do this. And some of these people probably didn't have morals to begin with when they got there. So they're doing terrible things, probably like, fuck it. I'm just going to try this out. Let's just who cares? Who cares who it hurts? Let's just see let's see if we can get away with this.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. You know what I mean? That happens. It's happening. You know what I mean? It's for real happening. There's for no real reason that they don't need any more money, but they're going to find a way to make more money because that's all they knew what to do. And sometimes it's going to hurt people, I mean, this is generalized statements, but anyways, so I just there's no reason to reach that level of wealth, you know what I mean? While other people don't have anything. So it just pools up in these little areas, all the wealth. Yeah. And one of the first principles that I heard this guy talking about from the sacred geometry economy is talking about negative interest. So over a certain amount of money, I'm not sure how it works or whatever, how it would work, you start paying negative interest on the money that you have. And the idea is to continually spread it around. So it doesn't just stagnate here and stagnate there. And you know what I mean? That's just beautiful. That's great.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I mean, it's not about living paycheck to paycheck like I do. It's about, okay, you've got enough to cover your bills. You've got enough to do your whatever it is, to live comfortably. Now spread the rest around. Continue spend it over here, invest it here, donate it here, donate it there. You know what I mean? It's not money that's the problem. It's the people that have it that are the problem again, and it's the people that don't have it that are the problem.
Yeah.
The worst, stealing, lying, cheating, deceiving, scamming. It all happens because of somebody who's just trying to make their ends meet, or they're trying to make even more billions. You know what I mean?
Or they're experiencing sort of like what you were saying, that there's a hierarchy in the banking where you're always having obstacles put in your way as you're trying to make a living, right? So,
and they're removed. The more money you make, the more they're removed. That doesn't make any sense. Seems like it should be the opposite.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, why do I pay more taxes than somebody that's fucking can afford to pay more taxes?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, I understand the principle of stimulating growth in economy, and that's why, you know, I know that it's detrimental if a corporation folds because now there's people without jobs, but also
Yeah.
creates a vacuum
Yeah.
because the business that they were doing, maybe they couldn't sustain it on the level that they were at, probably because it's an unsustainable fucking level is the problem. It's not because there isn't, like, for the one organization, at least anyways. So that breaks down to many little organizations. The people that lost their jobs are going to find other jobs. Other businesses are going to fill in the voids that were created. It's not like the industry just goes away. Like, you know, it's a big department store, like Walmart or something like that. And they're just got too big. They needed a bailout or whatever. They, you know what I mean? They're going to go bankrupt because something, whatever, bad business, whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, people still need to buy those things. There's still grocery stores. It's not like there wouldn't be a market for it, you know, just not as big. But anyways, yeah, I don't know. That's just my rant. I've been ranting.
Yeah.
What do you think?
It was Sacred Economics, I think was the name of the book. But yeah, I listened to that podcast as well. Aubrey Marcus, I think, was interviewing him. But I think that if we could just keep into consideration that money is energy, and if you restrict the flow of anything, it gets backlogged and it stops, right? So we need to have a flow in money, whether you have enough or not enough. There needs to be a flow of it, right?
Absolutely.
And when these people that are so driven, which means that they don't know how to not do something, they're so used to being busy, it's hard for them to sit and actually absorb, well, what can I do with this, instead of just trying to keep accumulating, because that's what they've been doing through their busyness, was trying to accumulate to a certain level. Then it got to be huge and not realizing that there still needs to be an outflow of the inflow, right? So that's even just the law of attraction talks about that as well, as the flow is the importance.
It's all about flow. It's just like, for example, like me finally learning to adult with my bills. You know, I used to always be like, well, if I can't pay the whole thing, then whatever, I'm just not going to pay it or something. It's stupid, right? But it's amazing what happens just spending $20 here and there can do for you. You know what I mean? Not just actually by literally tackling the debt that you're trying to pay, but also just energetically, it's flowing. It's not stopped. It's not bottlenecked and screwed. You know what I mean? Like it's movement, it's motion. It's just like, for example, like if you're somebody that is owed money and you have it's a personal debt, for example, and somebody's not doing anything to pay it off, and you see them living their life and they're buying things, they got TV and stuff, and they're not paying you anything at all. It's kind of feels like, what the fuck? Like, I get it. I don't care. I'm not asking for all of the money that you owe me right now, but you sure would prefer if it was like, even if you're getting $5 every once in a while, I'll be like, hey, it's acknowledgement of it. It's acknowledgement, it's honoring it, and it's dealing with it on some level, right? When you're not, you're not stagnant.
Yeah. And that bottleneck happens in you. You feel that restriction, that you're not getting ahead with something. And the power and the momentum that can happen over little steps, right? Yeah. If you look at money, because that's something that we feel it and fear of loss of it, perhaps more than anything. I think that's why the world is in such a mess, is because money is driving everything. Almost everything.
It is. Right? It really is. And like, who knows? Like, I know that at the root of it, I mean, there's a power to the thing, right? Money, power, they're kind of the same. Money is a tool for power. So maybe ultimately it's power. And maybe there'll be a vacuum. Maybe if we solve the money problem, maybe there's going to be this vacuum and we're going to find, but at least we're going to get closer to the root cause of disharmony. You know what I mean? But right now, for all intents and purposes, that is the thing that is the wrong with the planet, as far as I'm concerned. It's why I can't trust what I see on the news.
Yeah.
Because it's monetized. Everything's monetized. Whether, well, for the most part, whether you're just some website you set up yourself that has ads on it, or you're CNN that's selling ads on it, or you're some website that has a subscription base. It's monetized.
Yeah.
You know, and you follow the money, and it's like, well, okay, like how do I trust that then?
Exactly.
You know, when it's so weird. And what's also really weird to me is like how much economy is generated by trying to convince us to spend it. Like if you think of like for example, ad revenue, like I said, advertising, that is one of the biggest sources of revenue, which is so weird to me. Like anybody, like for example, if we were to ever make money off this video, it'd be because of ad revenue, which is weird. So it's like the only way that it's is by somebody wanting to try and sell something with it.
Exactly.
You know? So like, is that really what's the fuck? Like that's what's driving everything. Like what happens if all of a sudden we're like, okay, no, you can't sell ads on stuff anymore. What happens now? What happens? So all the YouTube stars, all these people that have found a way in a niche in the world that's 100% ad money. Like what happens then? I guess, I mean, it goes to subscription base. And that's the thing. It's
yeah.
It's just it. We think the problem is we all want something for free too.
We do. Yeah.
And that's what happened. I remember when apps first came out on your phone and you had to pay for them. They all cost money. And somebody was like, hey, what if we don't sell the app, but we put ads on it? And then everybody's like, awesome, it's free. And now if I see something that's pay, I'm like, oh, I'm not going to pay for that. Well, I'm paying for it one way or the other. I'm paying for it in my time being indoctrinated with ads or you know what I mean? Paying for it in a greater scale of it because everything's monetized through advertisement now. You know what I mean? Like, and so anyways, it's just so weird. It's just this weird cycle of like, so companies make a bunch of money and then spend a bunch of money and make a bunch of money and spend it. It's all like this, like advertising.
That's a flow.
Right? Buy things so that way we can take that money that you gave to us so we can convince you to buy our thing again. Let's just keep doing this fucking thing over and over and over again.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's weird.
Well, if you were to actually monetize how much people buy from, say, Instagram ads or Facebook ads, how much is sold just, and people don't even friggin' trust themselves anymore. They think, like if you were, say, in a sales company or something, and you're trying to sell your stuff, people just don't trust themselves to not buy because they're so easily caught in that web on these formats, these social media platforms, right? It's like, oh, look at that beautiful dress. Oh, look at that makeup. Oh, you know what I mean? It's just you. And I don't know if there's that. There used to be that big thing about subliminal things going on in the background. I'm certain in social media there's shit that we don't see going on all the time.
Oh yeah,
because
they're tracking it. Like when you watch that Social Dilemma, it's crazy.
Yeah,
like, screen time. I don't know if it's true or not. If they go so far as tracking your eye movements and stuff like that, even in some things, they know where you're looking at. They know what you're paying attention to. They know if you're paying attention at all, or if you're just like have your phone on because the ad's on again. You're waiting for the video or whatever. But yeah, it's crazy. It's weird. It's weird.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, money makes the world go round. But yeah, this whole thing wound. This whole year and a half has been I hate the word reset now, but I mean, really, we need a change. And it'll be interesting to see what comes of the money thing, because so many businesses are actually hurting so badly because of forced closures or forced having to conform to certain rules because of what's going on. Forced.
I thought you said forest. Like you said forest like 3 times. I don't think these are the problem, Mom. I don't think they're.
I have a microphone right.
Oh, there it is. There's the noise. It sounds like jingle bells again, sort of.
Anyway, we probably should let this go. Let people get on with their lives.
You wait.
As if they got to the end.
5 more seconds. We can stop this at exactly 1:11.
One. Okay, I better get on it.
Can you see?
Okay,
Oh,
I
you're
can't
gonna,
see the
you're gonna
time.
fuck this up for
Tell
sure.
me when.
You have to take control.
Tell me when to end it.
Do you not see the live ticker in the thing?
Oh yeah, there we go.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. That's chit chat and some unexpected wisdom for sure today.